Hey everybody, welcome to the TradeUI FAQ FAQ, frequently asked questions. I'm going to try to cover to the best of my ability, all the different questions that were asked to me and or the TradeUI developer. And we're going to just do a quick rundown here. One of the most frequently asked questions, obviously, is what exactly is an option sweep? And to put it simply, option sweeps are a large option purchase by an institution. Now, essentially, what they're trying to do is they're trying to sweep to fill, and they go through multiple exchanges until they fill that position. This shows a very strong demand for that particular strike price and that particular demand. Some things to consider, though, when you're doing option sweeps and following option sweeps is that some of the sweeps might be hedges, some of the sweeps might be plans for months or even potentially over a year in advance. They're doing sweeps to fill. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're a viable play for that particular day or that particular week, no matter how large the order. Now, I personally prefer closer to expiration options, as that shows a little bit more interest in the shorter term that they are expecting us to go to this given range. Obviously, the bigger the order, that's more potential bullish, depending on different circumstances, but I'm not going to get too much into that. I just wanted to cover that option sweeps just show a much stronger demand and often are rather costly risk because there is theta that decays the options over time, which means that unlike a traditional shares play, they're putting risk on their positions simply by doing the option in the first place. Now we're going to hop into another frequently asked question is, why doesn't my ticker show up on a TradeUI? Now, that's a pretty simple answer. This is an option sweeps scanner, so if no sweeps come in, they will not show up here on the given scanner. They won't show up on the filters. Sometimes some smaller ones might not show up that are actually coming in through other places. There is a degree of sensitivity on that, but oftentimes if it's not showing up here, the sweep was probably not worth your time in the first place. The only other things to answer here is color coding, frequently asked question. There is green, red, and purple. Green is basically more bullish than bearish sweeps. Red is obviously more bearish sweeps than bullish. Purple is like a mix of bullish and bearish. And of course, that about sums up that. You can read right here. This indicator shows you how bullish or bearish a ticker is. If you want the reference, that's what the little question mark there is for. So you can click at any time if you want a reminder here. And then, of course, you have the newest feature here, the export ticker list. You can literally just copy this list and directly import it into something like Thinkorswim. So if you wanted to follow a specific ticker, all right, you can choose any ticker here. Let's say you want to do Facebook or whatever, and you type the ticker name in right here. You apply the filter, and then you just export the list, and then you just import it into whatever broker. I could do a tutorial for that later if you guys are interested. And then, of course, you have the toggle flags column. Flags have different filters for different purposes. This is helpful for upcoming earnings plays to give you just an idea of how viable that given play is. Once again, question mark will cover all of these different filters. So if you have any questions about what the filters do, the benefit of the question mark here is that you don't have to ask the developer because all of the information is laid out right here. Now, if you don't understand specifically what that filter is telling you that it does, then you need to ask the developer in regards to that particular question of what it might do, what it might mean when it says so and so forth, such as you might have a question like, what is open interest? What is a volume? Hopefully not if you're trading and you're trying to consider an option sweeps platform and you're not familiar with what volume is. Percentage move, sort of spot and strike price, where they bought and where they're assuming it might go to, aka the strike price, strength of the position. All of these things, they're all covered here. right in the question mark here. So I shouldn't need to explain anything in here. You have a notifications area up here up top. You can slide this back and forth if you want more of a view. You can drag and drop here for some other stuff here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about on that. And let me reset the filters here. And get right back into it here where I left off. You can move these around if you're, let's say it's not fitting quite in the screen. You can kind of push this over to the side here and you can stretch it out. You can even do the more compact or the full view if you want more filters. And you can just kind of click into the window here if you want to go left and right with just the left and right arrow keys to see all of the different filter aspects. Once again, if it's too condensed for you, you can just simply use the export ticker list and you can just bring it up just like that. Do note that there's a difference between option sweeps and trades. Trades are more straight shares. Option sweeps are, well, option sweeps, as I explained earlier, to sweep to fill in multiple exchanges to fill that given option that they wanted. Other than that, underlying here, pretty self-explanatory. You got stocks and ETFs. So if you wanted to just focus on stocks, you could just focus on stocks. ETFs are like SPY and QQQ and things like that. You could focus on specific expiration dates. As I said, the shorter term, they are kind of higher risk, but it shows more interest in that particular time frame than if someone's dropping a few $1 million into said strike of a given option. You're thinking, well, why are they buying $20 out of the money? There's a recent one with Roku where it's at $150 calls and it's not $150 right now. As just an example, as per when I'm doing this video, we'll see how the earnings play out, but I just wanted to cover that aspect. You have the ITM, ATM, and OTM in the money, at the money, and out of the money. Obviously, if you want intrinsic value, you'd want to buy the at the money or in the money and hope it goes more into the money so that you can make more monies off of that. If you're just doing raw calls, for example, bias, pretty self-explanatory. Calls and puts. Calls, you expect things to go up. Puts, you expect them to go down. If you're selling calls, you expect it to essentially go down so that you can profit off of that. If you're selling puts, you expect the option to go up, and essentially you're banking on that decay and you're banking on that move aspect. Just a quick reference I wanted to cover in the video, just to have it out there for you guys. Trying to think of what else beyond that I haven't already explained. This is a non-full version as of the 0.75. There is other features coming up. You could check them out in the roadmap area there, and you can check out the Discord as well. I'll have the link below. If you want a trial of this platform, you can check out the link below, unless you're viewing this through the TradeUI platform. In which case, this is just a quick rundown of just the variables or various questions that people tend to ask. You got the call flow, put flow. That's the amount of calls or puts that came in. Bearish sentiment for the markets. That's pretty self-explanatory. Bullish, etc. Isn't a whole lot to explain in this video. If you guys have any more questions, I can do another follow-up FAQ, frequently asked questions, of any other questions that you might have, or you can just simply ask me or the TradeUI developer in regards to additional questions that you feel weren't covered in this video. So thank you for listening in and have a great day.